friends? It is time. It's about a half an hour till 10 o'clock here on a Sunday night. I'm meteorologist Aaron Tuttle. Thanks for joining me. It's been a busy weekend, I'm sure, for many of you. It was for me. I always try to cram as much as I can in a weekend, and I find myself never having enough time. I need a way to just kind of stop time, and I can get everything I ever wanted to get done. Then I don't know what I'd do with my time, but hey, at least I'd feel accomplished. So what we're going to talk about tonight is a threat of severe storms that's coming back in the forecast, and also take a look at how those temperatures are going to look. Are we going to see any more freezes, and how much rain we're going to get out of all of this for the week. So thanks for joining me. Let's go ahead and get on into the details here. First thing I want to do is make sure that this thing's working. So I've been doing a lot of fine tuning and tweaking with this whole operation I got going on over here, and so every now and then I'll find a few bugs I got to learn to work out, and but we're getting there. So little by little, I'm going to have this thing like smooth sailing, as they say. All right, so I think I got it all up and happy. We shall see. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. So first thing is we've got some rainfall out there that kind of developed across northwest Oklahoma. A couple of thunderstorms, and they didn't last very long, and they were pretty puny. And this is what's left of them, this little shower that's dying out quickly as it approaches central Oklahoma, now pressing the north side of Kingfisher, and it's just a glorified sprinkle at this point in time. So that is the way to look at the radar this evening, and we'll probably see a repeat of this functionality for tomorrow and also on Tuesday. Kind of the same generalized area. Thunderstorms will develop late day and then diminish pretty quickly into the early evening hours, and at their most intense period they may produce a little bit of hail. All right, so let me get on with the details of the forecast. Let's see here. I want to start you off with this guy here. So this is a look at the forecast for Monday afternoon. There's a weak front outflow boundary is going to be kind of situated like this. And so late in the day, a couple of these little thunderstorms will try to form along this boundary and kind of move to the south and east. They're not going to manage to do a whole lot. A little bit of thunder and lightning. Like I said, probably some small hail out of these, and that's going to be about it. So I'm not looking for necessarily a really big deal. Same thing for Tuesday. Same kind of idea. Front still kind of lingers up here in this part of the state. So again, on Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be kind of in this quadrant of activity. So kind of Oklahoma City is kind of on the far southern fringe of this, whereas most of it should stay just to our north and west. It's not going to be very widespread, but any activity out there will manage to work its way from northwest to southeast, and again, quickly dying off into the evening hours. Now, after that, we actually have a chance at a little bit of severe weather. Now, here's a look at the National Weather Service outlook for a slight risk of severe storms. This is on Wednesday afternoon. Now, this, I can tell you right now, will change, but right now, it's a very broad, generalized area. I'm going to tell you why here in a minute. Because it could easily start here, or it could easily start here. All right, now that's a pretty big difference. But remember, it's only Sunday. We're talking about Wednesday afternoon and evening, so that's why you don't want to get too specific, because things will change pretty quickly. But we're going to give you the general picture of how things ought to play out in that area. The reason why is we've got a low pressure area. So this is an area of low pressure at the surface, and a little upper level disturbance aloft that's going to swing through. And that's going to help to generate kind of a warm frontal zone that drapes in something like this. And then typically you get kind of a dry line that'll kind of come out of the side of this. So you usually look for favored thunderstorm activity for severe weather anyway, on the east side of the surface low and down along the dry line. So it's kind of in the northwestern parts of Texas and on in the far southwest Oklahoma. Now this is midday Wednesday. Now the issue is that a lot of the models just zip this thing east real quick for the afternoon, which tries to paint the majority of the severe weather in this region here, and from southeast Oklahoma then onward by Wednesday afternoon and evening. So that'll be the trend that we'll look forward to. The newest data is coming in right now, and I'll take a peek at that here in a second. But earlier data suggested that if you'll be the most aggressive as far as potential for instability, dew points coming in here, heat coming in here, and some turning with height with the shear, all that stuff overlaid would be in the southwestern parts of the state, stretching on back with more favored areas down here. Now the issue is we typically have a cap in place which prevents thunderstorms from developing. That does look like it will be at least a factor to deal with, which means you might have some of the ingredients coming together, but if the cap holds, you won't get much in the way of storm activity. Plus, if it's a fast-moving system, you don't really have a whole lot of time to get something going. But that's kind of the situation for Wednesday. Tell you what, before I move on from Wednesday, let me see if the new day has come in just yet. So here is Wednesday afternoon from that data that we looked at just a moment ago. So this is that same model, but I wanted to look at the newest version of it. Let's see here, because things can change, pretty quickly. Yeah, this model has already backed off its slow attitude pretty quickly. So the surface low, instead of it being down here and kind of zipping along the Red River really slowly, I say zipping, crawling, it's now started here and it's zipped on up here into northeastern Oklahoma. So that takes the threat of severe weather quickly off into kind of this quadrant here. Let's see here. Let's draw. What do I want? Where's my little line here? This guy here. So that'll paste most of the potential for storm development in the eastern Oklahoma. And even then, the winds are fairly light. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at the, let's just do a plotted forecast sounding. Again, this is on the fly here, so we'll see what it looks like. So it is marginally unstable with a little bit of an elevated cap to overcome. The shear is decent, though, with turning at the lowest levels. Very weak, though, between 2 and 4 kilometers. So that usually doesn't allow for updraft strength to hang in there for too long. But it's a very marginal low probability event as this model looks right now for Wednesday when it comes to severe weather. Now, keep in mind, this can still change, but this is the latest trend. And that's a huge change from what it was this morning. So it went from southwest Oklahoma to now to eastern Oklahoma real quickly, which kind of jives with some of the other model data. All right, so we'll have more time to look at Wednesday tomorrow. We'll see if that trend holds, or it's a new trend or something we can discredit. Now, over time, we're going to get some rainfall out of this, of course, for Wednesday on into also another quick round on Friday. So that means rainfall amounts here will generally come up to around 1 to 2 inches over a large area of the state. So some good rains coming up this week, which we need, because as you know, April showers lead to May flowers. And some of you have already gotten your May flowers out there early, and you've been having to truck them inside and outside off and on here for the last couple of days. Now here's a look at the forecasted high temperatures for Oklahoma City. So if you're asking me, hey, we're going to see a freeze around here. Good news is, long term, no. The coldest we're going to see is upper 40s. Monday, we'll be back into the 50s for overnight lows. Sunday looks like upper 40s, and even extended Tuesday and Wednesday way out here, we're looking 50s to 60 for overnight lows, and highs getting back in the 80s by Wednesday, April 29th. Now, how about that? Now, finally, some somewhat, late spring weather coming in here. I wouldn't say summer, because 80s is still very pleasant. Summer is not very pleasant. All right, now, if you want to extend this out, talk about severe storms, let's do that real quick. So here is a look at the Cape versus shear crossover, and this is where you see the colors on the map. This is where the best instability is for severe weather. Now this is going to be looking way out there, and again, these things usually change a little bit here and there. But we're trying to find, at some point our severe weather season's got to start, so we're going to start looking for these signals. So this is the first one here. This will be April 27th. Wind shear is decent on direction, but is it good for what we call speed shear? Because you have to have both. You got to have both directional shear and speed shear. So let's take a look. We'll pick the model of choice that goes out that far in advance. And let's zoom on into that time slot. Oh, let me go down here. See what it says here, the latest. All right. Now, that means that prior to that, we don't have a very great picture as far as shear and Cape overlay. Matter of fact, that same model from earlier today has dramatically changing from the one I just showed you a moment ago. So this newest data from it bumps the Capes out west a little bit, plus drops about 1,000 joules off of them. If you look at the forecasted sounding, very dry in the atmosphere, so these are very high-based thunderstorms that would develop if they could. And the speed shear is only around 20 knots. So that would be a very marginal severe weather day on the 27th if that were to even hold. Now, if we go to the 28th, the model's much better on the deeper moisture in here. So now the Cape value is up around 4,000 to 5,000 joules. Now, just to give you a frame of reference, for good thunderstorm activity, you need at least 1,000 joules. Very rare cases you ever get anything decent below that, and there are some rare cases, but we're talking about the majority. You need over 1,000 joules per kilogram. And when you get up to around 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000, that pretty much tops the numbers you're going to get and just indicates a lot of instability. So this is showing a lot of instability, just this particular panel this day. But again, it comes down to the speed and directional shear. So what do you see here? Anemic, 5 knots, 10 knots, 5 knots. This is so sad. For a severe weather event coming late April, early May, the ingredients are pathetic. Now, there are going to be some good hail producers. And what will happen is these updrafts will continue to collapse over and over. They'll go up and come back down. So you really can't produce a tornado in that environment, which is fine. I'm not complaining. But just goes to show you, though, you got to have a lot of ingredients around. Now, the only thing I can show you is that we're finally starting to get some by the end of this month. So there's the 29th. Oh, what happened? Oh, it got all cleared out by a cold front. That's lunchtime on the 29th, Wednesday. And then by the evening hours, all the instability is now pushed way south in Texas. Oh, another strong front. Oh, that stinks. Well, I mean, it doesn't really stink. You don't want severe weather. Let me rephrase that. Anyway, but I'll check the temperatures to make sure there's not going to be another frost or something for us. But anyway, on the 4th, there's a little bit of ribbon of instability. This is the early part of April. This is, again, the 4th of April. Now, I can tell you that we're looking way out there, and this is becoming the butterfly effect of noise that just generates in all kinds of crazy ways, and it'll change 1,000 times from before we even get there. But that kind of gives you the idea that is what we're going to be looking forward to changes, but that's typical. So our May is our most potent, busiest time of the year for severe weather, including tornadoes. And those tornadoes usually peak right about the center part of the state as we head into the center part of May. So that happens every year. There's only been a couple of years where you hardly get anything in May, and I think one year had nothing in May, and that's a rarity, obviously. That was a record, I think, when that one time that happened. Okay, so let me think here. What else I want to show you regarding this? Oh, the temperatures. Just a quick peek. When I had looked at earlier data, there was no indication of a freeze at all. Even there wasn't really a likelihood of a frost, but I'm going to go ahead and just take a quick gander. I see some 40s. We're safe with that. And that big front that cleared us out on the 18th? Okay. Yeah, it may have cleared us out dew point wise, but it didn't really clear us out. Knock us down too much on temperatures. So, looks pretty good still. Good, because we're getting late in the year anyway, so it'd be harder and harder to do. Plus, it's basically the beginning of May. All right, so that is all good news. Let me think. I think that was all I wanted to show you. So let's see if this works. Okay, it did. All right, let me go work quick on the round table look. You guys in... Jim, turn down your volume, buddy. Talk to you guys on YouTube real quick. For the chat. So Jim said the intro music was a little loud. And you know what? It was blaring a little bit on my side, but just crank that volume down. Then it's like a commercial on TV. Those commercials are always louder than the actual program. Wes, Sunday, every day is Saturday now. Oh my goodness. Joe, did you bring the apple pie to the show? What? Matter of fact, I'm about to get me some of that apple pie. She made it fresh today. I cannot wait. So no, Jennifer, we're not getting any snow. You're funny. Let's see. Storm season ending. Mason wants to know, storm season extending into summer, or are we just going to get skipped entirely? Don't know about you, but I got to have my fill of storms. In Oklahoma, man, you will get a fill of storms. Don't worry. You will get some. Let's see. Twitter, you guys, and Twitter and Periscope, thanks for chiming in there. Now, keep in mind, what is that show? Hold on, I'm looking at something. That looks okay. Hold on a second. Let me look at something real quick. I lost my train of thought because I caught something. No, it looks all right. Yeah, it looks okay. All right, back to what I was doing. Squirrel. Sorry, I gotta do too many things. I don't cut in, do live broadcasts for just random thunderstorms. So I know the TV station will cut in. You're gonna say, they're gonna go live severe weather update because they got to, that they have to. They cannot not do it. And for a little bit of hail, I typically won't cut in for that. I usually just kind of focus on tornadoes. So if you see me go live during a severe weather day, it's usually for a reason, and that would be the main purpose of that. Stacy's checking in on the patron page. Hello. Mimi is in the house as well. Hey, Tiffany. Larry's here. Stacy wants me to change the music. All right, I will find. Brenda sounds like a casino. Yeah, there's some sound effects on some of these graphics that I created. So I don't. I gotta work with those. They get a little annoying. Let's see. And then on the main Facebook page, you guys have been quite chatty, Kathy. Let's see. Skip through, check out some of your comments if you have any questions. Scrolling through. Hello, Boo. Right back at you, Karen. I'm ready for some local chases. Josh. Deb doesn't want any more freezes. You got it. We're safe from that. The noise is distracting. Lisa says so. All right. That means I might have to make check on the noise. You guys are funny. I will check on those sound effects. Jody's on top of it though. Let's see. Is it weather warnings going off from the south? No. Alright. These people are so bored, they're complaining about everything. Brooke. How can you be bored? Well, I guess you could be. I'm never bored. I got too much. I always have too much to do. After last year's severe weather, I'm game for no tornadoes this year. Carol. Ain't that the truth? Sharon, can you see what that hat on? Nope. Sure can't. I walk around blind with this thing. So yeah, Audrey, we're keeping an eye on Wednesday for some storms. We got some time to come back and look at that, and we'll do that as well. So that was about it. So I'll work on some of the noises that are coming up. So you guys don't get too annoyed. But other than that, I think we wrapped it up. So I appreciate your comments and watching and all that kind of stuff, and liking and sharing the video. I appreciate my sponsors as always, especially Ferguson Roof Systems. So we will get back with you again here soon, and we'll give you an update on how things look as we head into Wednesday to see if that severe weather threat is going to be over southern Oklahoma or far eastern Oklahoma, or maybe not even in Oklahoma. I'm all for just keeping it out of here, but at some point, it's going to be here. All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll talk again soon. Bye.